This learning object is a production of Abu Dhabi Men's College, Center of Excellence for ICT and Learning Technology.
Is there any opportunity at university faculties to take on, even temporarily, people who have left, say, banking or some other very hard-hit company? I know that in the United Kingdom, there's certainly anecdotal evidence that a lot of people who have lost their jobs are going into teacher training programs. Now, those, of course, are mostly at the primary or secondary school level, but are universities seeing an influx in any way of people who have had to leave accounting or engineering? Boeing, for example. Do you have any former Boeing workers on your payroll?
No, actually, we haven't seen much of that in our region, but I wanted to make the point, though, that I'm not sure that corporations have to open their pocketbooks as the only way to help us. I think it's very essential that they open their doors and provide students with internships and mentorships and get our students out working while they're in college. We want to see them doing while they're in college so we can help shape them. And I think that's also very exciting for the students. And so we try to form collaborations with the region's corporations in our area to help us find work relationships with our students while they're in school so that we can shape our curriculum around that, certainly part of our curriculum around that, and make it more meaningful for both our corporate partners and the students who go into those fields, whatever it is, from business to engineering to human resources to there are just a million things that they can do. That kind of partnership doesn't cost the corporations very much, and yet is an enormous part of bridging the gap between what a university is and what the corporate world is. And that bridge is just tremendously difficult to do without that partnership.
Ambassador Elam Thomas, I saw you nodding during that. What point would you like to reinforce?
I'm thinking of the current administration's focus on service, public service. And that takes some of the onus off of money coming in per se, because the volunteer spirit that I see in the students at a university which is not Ivy League, it's in Central Florida, where students really want to be part of giving service to this country. They're interested in Peace Corps the way they never were before. A career in the U.S. Foreign Service was something that they had never thought about. And they are now intrigued because they see an ability to make a difference in terms of the perception of the United States abroad. Now, you can't do it without education, but you certainly can do it if you find students willing to do these internships with major corporations in the city in which they happen to live, so that they get this exposure or become exchange students, again, through the financing of philanthropic organizations that still exist, and recognize the value thereof.
And you see that this is something significant, and you're seeing it at a university, as you say, it's not Ivy League. You're talking about 52,000
students, many of whom now are really, truly interested in moving and looking at working or having an experience abroad and providing service to others and learning from them. In fact, it's important in certain parts of the university's curriculum to have a service-oriented exchange experience, not just to go and study abroad, but to be involved in a service project. And I see that interest very, very much at this university, and it's most gratifying to see. But again, that's not requiring more money per se.
Exactly.
It's a different focus.
Marion Horstman.
Yeah, I just want to come back to this internship idea. This is what we do around the globe with students, and this is actually a win-win situation. So students get to know the business, us as a corporation, and on the other hand, we are the lucky ones who get to know the students, and so that we can work during their studies on universities already heavily together, and then they can select projects once they are graduated and work with us.
And you're doing this around the world.
Exactly.
And do you have any idea how many internships you might have?
Oh, this is, we are 40.
I assume it would be a large number.
We are 430,000 employees around the globe. I think it's also thousands of internships. Yeah.
One more comment, and that is we were concerned about how do you finance all of these things. Interns certainly either want to be paid or get something for their experience. And how do you house them and what have you. So we learned to be creative, and there are universities around the United States who will actually allow the dormitories to be used so that the students who are working, for instance, in Washington, that's a very expensive city to have an internship, but I've seen students from our university live on a college campus in the Washington area, either free of charge or at far lower cost, so that they can have that experience. There are organizations that want to house students. You would be amazed that there is indeed a spirit that is still existing across the country, despite the financial crisis, to want to be able to improve the opportunities for young people who want to have the experience of working in a major corporation or in a totally different setting than they would in their hometown.
Charles Raven, you were going to say something.
I think an interesting statistic is that there's a 20% increase in the number of volunteers who are working in not-for-profit organizations in the United States. I'm sure that translates into other countries as well. But one thing that those volunteers can do is to work with, as mentors, and work with young people and help them advance and get themselves into college. It's just a very, very interesting issue. The downside is that people who are losing their jobs in ONGs, NGOs and not-for-profits are being replaced by volunteers, and that is not the best thing in the world. But there are a tremendous number of people who are volunteering. My wife talks about something called, she thinks she's coined this, but she may be right, but micro-volunteerism, micro-philanthropy, which is the idea that anybody can start a small project, a small program, and she's an example of someone who started 4 or 5 small scholarship. She volunteers in a school in Harlem, in New York City, working with kids to help them get into college. But everybody can do something to help, and it's a great opportunity. It's a great environment to be able to do that. And many of the people who are volunteering now are people who are temporarily, hopefully, out of work, and they hopefully